What's up, Taiwan? I'm Eric Gao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The country's troops are practicing how to defend against an amphibious attack as part of Taiwan's largest annual war games. Our reporter Jaime Okan was there.
Taiwanese soldiers quickly moving into defensive positions. Then one by one, machine guns and anti-aircraft guns open fire. These troops are training to defend the beach against an all-out amphibious invasion. It's part of the country's largest annual war games, known as the Kuang exercises, which simulate an attack by China.
There has been a realization that the People's Republic of China now has almost the military force to take Taiwan, and Taiwan needs to enhance its self-defense in response. And in particular, Taiwan needs to be able to keep the Chinese military from landing on the island.
That's the focus of these anti-landing drills, where a team dressed in red takes on the role of an enemy force trying to capture the beach. And Taiwanese forces, the blue team, use a combination of armored vehicles, attack helicopters, and tanks to fend off the attack. They've chosen this beach in New Taipei City for the exercises for a specific reason. Taiwan's military said that this entire area behind me is a red beach. That means if China were to conduct an attack, it would be one of the most likely ports of entry. The beach isn't rocky, and it's next to a major port and city. There are about 14 of these red beaches on the main island, but this one is one of the closest to the capital city, Taipei, which is why Taiwan has been making sure areas like these are even more fortified.
我们知道，巴黎海滩哦，跟这个台北港，以及我们的淡水河口呢，是我们北台湾非常重要的一个战略要地。那么，尤其巴黎海滩哦，是可以让敌人呢，是很适合敌人正规登陆的一个区域的位置。
For the past few days, Taiwan's military has been conducting exercises like these all across the country. Now, while it is an exercise drill, it's also a sign to other countries of just how ready Taiwan is to defend its security. Scott Huang and Jaime Okan in New Taipei City for TaiwanPlus.
Many cities across the country have been affected by heavy rainfall and floods after Typhoon Dog Suri's outermost rains hit Taiwan. One death is being blamed on the storm, and infrastructure in the south and east have been badly damaged. Bing Wang has the latest.
After days of anticipation, Typhoon Dog Suri finally hit Taiwan. In the east and south, roads like these were flooded and covered with debris following heavy rainfall. Engineers were also working to clear areas impacted by landslides. The storm is gaining strength after reaching the Hecun Peninsula on the southernmost tip of Taiwan and moving its way northwest.
东半部恒春半岛雨势还是相当大的，而至于在西半部降雨则没有这么明显，但是西半部的山区、南部地区跟北部地区还是有些间歇性的阵雨。
And it wasn't long before the damage brought by the typhoon started to show. Cracks were spotted on this bridge in Hualien, eastern Taiwan, with another bridge in the city being washed away by an overflowing river.
变小，中间大桥冲毁了，希望我们的不要进出。
Multiple cars were also damaged by falling trees. Fortunately, there were no injuries. So far, the heaviest rain has concentrated in the south and east of the country. But authorities say there's a chance of lighter rains making its way to the northwest. And as the typhoon intensifies, officials are reminding people to be on alert and to stay safe. Alex Chen and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
3 Chinese tech companies are suspected of poaching Taiwanese engineers, violating Taiwan's law on cross-strait relations.
如果没有经过我国主管机关的许可，并且设立分公司跟营业处，然后从事相关猎人头的公司，这是会违反《两岸关系人民条例》规定，它有刑责的处罚。
The 3 companies are now under investigation. One of them is top Chinese chipmaker Yangtze Memory Tech Corporation, which has been blacklisted by the U.S. More and more Chinese firms are reportedly headhunting talent from Taiwan, which is a key hub in the semiconductor industry. This comes as the U.S. and China are vying for global tech supremacy, specifically in chips. Meanwhile, a local company has been fined for selling an unlicensed Chinese gaming phone, which listed Taiwan as being part of China. Taiwan's communications authority says the company, called Mi Club, wasn't licensed to sell the Chinese-made Red Magic 8 Pro gaming smartphone. The firm has been fined over $40,000 US. Mi Club had $650,000 in pre-orders for that phone, but some buyers say theirs never arrived. Others who did get their phones said their device was listed as being in Taiwan, China. The communications agency banned this wording on tech devices in 2020. 8 EU lawmakers are in Taiwan, and they've met with President Tsai Ing-wen. Reporter Rick Lauert spoke to delegation member and European parliamentarian Reinhard Bütikofer.
Could you tell us a little bit about what you expect to get out of this trip? We know that there's been a mention of further cooperation between Taiwan and Europe on security issues, for example. What could that look like?
There are issues where we can learn a lot from Taiwan's experience. For instance, in dealing with information manipulation online and offline, Taiwan has had to put up with a lot of PRC interference. We have still Russia as the one country that interferes the most in our own societies. But by comparing notes, we learn from each other. Also, we want to stabilize the situation, contribute to stabilizing the situation in the Taiwan Strait by making it clear to everybody, including in Beijing, that Taiwan is not isolated, that Taiwan has a lot of friends around the globe.
Delegations from Europe often voice their support for Taiwan and say there's growing support for Taiwan in Europe in the face of aggression from China. But what could that support look like if China was to increase its hostilities on Taiwan?
Well, first of all, I think we should stop fooling ourselves. I don't believe it's adequate to assume that you can stabilize the status quo. China is trying to undermine it as best they can. And if we don't want to just watch from the sidelines, then we have to invest in more cooperation with Taiwan. And that means a lot of very practical things. It means, for instance, actively supporting Taiwan's meaningful participation in international organizations like WHO, WHA, ICAO, Interpol, UNFCCC, and others.
How do you think Europe is changing the way it deals with China in light of Russia's invasion of Ukraine?
I strongly feel that the sad and bitter reality of Russia's imperialist aggression against Ukraine has highlighted to many Europeans this risk that there could hypothetically be an Asian repetition of the same kind of aggressive behavior by a revisionist power, in this case, Beijing, obviously. So that has put Taiwan and the concern for the future of Taiwan's democracy much more on the radar screen of many political actors.
That was reporter Rick Lauert speaking with member of the European Parliament, Reinhard Bütikofer. Police have arrested a group of alleged fuel thieves. Officers in central Taichung busted 5 people on suspicion of stealing some 2,000 liters of diesel. The case came to light last September when state refiner CPC Corporation noticed a drop in pressure in one of its pipes. Police say the suspects had illegally tapped into the pipe to siphon off fuel. Aside from theft charges, officials are also investigating them for endangering public safety. CPC will seek both damages for its losses and compensation for repairs. Taiwan's government watchdog says it's time to drop rules for voting during a pandemic. COVID patients were banned from going to the polls in last year's elections. Officials now want policies that protect both public health and the right to vote. John Van Trieste reports.
This is the Control Yuan, the government's watchdog. From its headquarters here in Taipei, its members impeach, censure, and audit, adding a layer of accountability to Taiwan's government. This week, its inspectors have their sights trained on the Election Commission and Health Ministry. During last November's local elections, these agencies decided to bar people with COVID-19 from voting. Around 60,000 people were denied their right to vote as a result. The Control Yuan released the results of an investigation into this decision on Wednesday. Its members said this can't happen again. They now want new procedures for voting in any future pandemic.
已经限制了这些确诊者的行动自由，你要再剥夺他的这个参政权，这个真的要非常谨慎。所以该修法就要去修法，所以要尽可能的去跟社会、跟国会做沟通。
他们一直说这个是符合释宪的原则，要限制这些确诊者不能投票，但是这个不能直接来推论。
Officials say they're willing to improve voting procedures.
针对监察院提出的调查建议，本属表达尊重和感谢。
Exactly what the Election Commission and Health Ministry will do is unclear. But there were several ideas put forward before the election that were later abandoned. These included leaving the polls open longer to prevent crowding. This means that there are options for ensuring that in a future pandemic, Taiwan will be able to keep elections on track while also keeping voters safe. Devin Tsai and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Dramatic images coming out of New York City where a crane caught fire and fell 40 stories to the streets below. 12 people, including 3 firefighters, were hurt, though their injuries are not thought to be life-threatening. The city's fire department says the blaze started in the crane's engine compartment. An initial inspection found the building under construction is still structurally sound. Post-COVID, tourists are flocking back to Japan, and one restaurant in Tokyo is thrilling its visitors with a unique combination of food and wrestling. Sandy Chi has more.
These big guys are ready for battle, and also for lunch. This is not an official sumo tournament, or basho, as they are called in Japanese. Instead, it's part of a unique dining experience at this restaurant in central Tokyo, Japan. Koto Otori, that's his ring name, was a professional sumo wrestler for 20 years, living a highly regimented lifestyle. Now retired aged 40, he works here to teach others about this traditional style of wrestling.
相撲を皆さんに知ってもらいたいなというのはありましたね。今みたいにこういうのはちょっとイメージなかったんですけども、海外の人にも、日本の人にも相撲をよく思ってもらいたいなと思いました。
And he's not alone. All those who perform at the restaurant are former sumo wrestlers. And after the face-off against each other during the show, they welcome customers to join in too.
The best thing is the sumo wrestlers themselves are so personable and really take the time to make it such a funny, enjoyable experience. And I like that it's, kind of, gives an opportunity to everyone to be a part of the show as well.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
私たちが現役の時に経験した辛い思い出とか伝統文化、トラディショナルとかそういうのをしっかりお客さんに伝えようっていうふうに普段は努力してます。でもお相撲さんの時は全然遊んだりできなかったんで、やっぱりそこでみんなサラリーをもらってとにかく楽しいハッピーな生活を送ってほしいなと思ってみんな過ごしてます。
The sumo show has been a massive hit. Since the restaurant opened in November last year, reservations for the exhibition bouts have been fully booked. But once they get a booking, the only thing visitors need to wrestle with is what to choose from the menu. Isan Pan and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, enjoy these shots of these adorable teeny tiny capybara pups in the San Diego Zoo. I'm Eric Gao. Take care and see you next time.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, please visit us at TaiwanPlus.com.